I think today's companies face this really daunting challenge of navigating a rapidly evolving landscape of very complex sales and marketing tools that make it increasingly difficult to discern which tool they need to use, how do they use it effectively and optimize it the right way, how do you integrate them seamlessly, and all while trying to keep your sales and marketing teams focused on what they're actually good at doing, what they're hired to do, telling the company's story, selling the products. Now you're relying, and we're seeing this, sales and marketing teams that were built one way, now having to manage these complex set of tools. And it becomes a really daunting task. And people are then all of a sudden not aligned in what they're trying to do or measuring the right thing or communicating the right way.
100%. It's not just a sales and marketing thing that your Martech stack, it affects your entire company, which I don't think a lot of people understand. It affects not just your sales and revenue generation, but also your retention, your customer success, IT. Like it layers into all areas of the business. If you get that dialed in and tracking all the metrics that you could do a lot more with that data than just get people in the pipeline and close them. Okay, but then like what happens after that? That's where a really robust Martech system is not just a Martech system anymore. It's a business intelligence platform, data warehouse for your entire company. It's super critical to get this place. Just think of it as a sales marketing. Okay, we'll get Salesforce. We'll get HubSpot. Okay, yeah, got it. But it affects everything else.
So the biggest thing that I've seen working at HubSpot is I've had a new marketing point of contact, a new sales point of contact every 3 months. When you're dealing with point solutions for technology, right? So, somebody sees something, somebody sees another thing, it's in their name, this billing zombie world, like you really need to hone in on like, where are we spending? What are we doing? Where can we really drive the most impact, evaluating that as a whole. So I think with the overturn and job market being the way it is, we really need to hone in on people moving to different companies, what our tech stack is, where we can make the most impact. So us evaluating what you're actually using versus what you're not, I think is going to be huge to not only cut costs, but also to focus that investment in the right direction.
100%, Dan. I mean, that's people don't really consider that because unfortunately marketing and sales does tend to have more churn than other areas of the business. So what usually happens, and people hire us or other agencies to do this, somebody set it up in a very specific way, their whole Martech stack, their life cycle stages, their lead statuses, the flows, all that kind of stuff. They set it up in a super specific way that made sense in their head. They either leave, get fired, whatever it is. Somebody else comes in and they're like, we got to do this all over again. It just keeps people from actually doing the work and actually getting leads and selling people and closing them. It becomes a whole other headache. And most marketers, and they're not set up to do that. That does require a lot of technical expertise. So just as simple as documenting things and processes, that's stuff that working with a preferred vendor will actually do that. So you have that knowledge transfer capability. So if somebody else leaves, it's not something you have to rebuild. It's not like a sunk cost and you're just stuck with it. It's something that you can use going forward that everybody understands on the same page. And that's super important too. And that's usually if it's built in-house or somebody just knows how to do some HubSpot workflows or Pardot workflows, it's just in their head. They don't actually document those things, why they did certain things, why certain fields are certain ways. So you have to have a partner that understands the entire ecosystem that can keep it consistent across different churn, across employees and things like that.
One of the things that often gets overlooked is probably what vendors the marketing team is working with, who has the login information to that. There's a lot of knowledge that does not get transferred.
For sure, because we've witnessed this many times, the knowledge transfer does not happen. The passwords for these things, how they were used, what they're using. If they bring on a new team, that new team may have been using Pardot, not HubSpot or Salesforce versus whatever. And then there's all this confusion about how they're going to stick together, how they bring in something, how they transfer that data, how do they implement it. Becomes really confusing fast. Tools are not what drives the business forward. It's how you use those tools that drive the business forward, and making sure that they're put together in the right way and communicating the right ways, which actually makes them not a tool. It makes them an ally of your business.
It's basically point solutions for overall problems. Somebody comes in, they buy a point solution for whatever their problem is for the next 6 months, and then they leave the company. It's not really on the overall strategy of the company. We dive in there and we figure out hey, this is what we need to do. You have 20 point solutions, let's condense those and let's get your overall processes in mind. And these are the solutions you need. So you're spending $40,000 a month when you could be spending $20,000 a month on this overall solution, whether it be Salesforce, Pardot, HubSpot, whatever it is. These people come in, they're director of operations. They think they can just buy whatever will solve for that 6 months, where they'll make them look good, but overall, it's just about putting your strategy in mind, making that very personalized and providing that consistency to get there.